Good morning. Right now it is 9:02 on a Wednesday morning. I'm excited. We have a guest here in studio, and we're going to go ahead and throw it on the FM and get into this. We're going to be sharing everything that's going on in the area, Santa Fe, Galveston County, how you can get involved and help with the great cause this Christmas season. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's 9:03 on a Wednesday morning. I'm Gardy. This is Kickstart. I got a guest in studio. He's been in here before, and I'm going to let him introduce himself and then share everything he has going on. You're a very busy man. How's it going?
Awesome.
So what's your name, and what? Let everybody know that's listening on 99.5 FM what you have going on as well.
Well, I'm from Galveston County. I'm from the area. Was raised in Galveston, but live in Santa Fe. My parents moved us there. But overall, man, my name is Fidencio Leija. Some people know me as Junior, but I served in the military for 9 years, came back, went to school. But the best thing about it is now I have the ability and the opportunity and the blessing that I'm actually serving our community as a councilman. And so I'm a councilman for the city of Santa Fe. It's pretty impressive, pretty exciting. And the reason I say it's impressive is because you have the opportunity every single day to talk to new people and the opportunity to talk to the citizens and do something good for the community.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been serving on the council?
I was elected in May of this year, of 2019. Got on the board on 2019 on city council. On June, I should say.
Okay.
June, I was brought on board. And ever since then, we've been running. And luckily, I have the support of my brothers, my sister, my parents, and, of course, all the cousins, and then my in-laws. My in-laws play a big part. And, of course, I can't leave out my wife and then my staff at work.
Yeah. Has it been, anytime you go into a new job, a new field, anything really, like you imagine it being one way in your head.
Yeah.
Has it been, the job serving as a city councilman, I feel like that's a lot of work. Was it everything that you thought it would be? Is it more? Is it less? Is it exactly kind of on par?
Well, definitely it's a lot of work. And the other piece is that we don't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually truly volunteers. But the individuals that serve on there and the people that are on there now, from Councilman Pittman to Jason O'Brien, the mayor, Jason Tabor, Corey Jeanette, and then our other councilman, which also is a veteran, is Councilman Ivy Hoke. All of us there, we're working together. We're trying to figure out what's best for our community. How do we use our tax dollars appropriately and physically responsible so that way we do what's best for our community. And one of the projects that I initiated and introduced is all about helping our local veterans. How can we do that? So one of the cool things that we recently did is we put out 40 of these signs right here, 40 parking signs throughout Santa Fe. They're at churches. They're at our local businesses. They're everywhere. And even the school district adopted 9 of them. So they're at the high school, the junior high, the elementary, all of the stadiums, even one in front of the old gym, which those who know Santa Fe that are part of that, the love of basketball, you'll see the one in front of the gym. So it's cool stuff that you're able to do, and it's all about being proactive and running with it.
That's awesome. So those signs are a great idea. You served, you said 9 years in the military?
Yes.
Which branch was that?
Navy.
In the Navy. And then Ivy Hoke, he's another newly elected councilman as well.
That's correct.
And did he serve in the Navy as well?
Air Force. He didn't get lucky to serve in the Navy.
He had to
serve in the Air Force.
I was going to ask. I was like, is there any competition there? Or just kind of, good fun poking at each other?
And I think that's the beauty of serving in the military is like you're allowed to kick dirt on each other's boots. But as soon as it's someone else outside that's not part of the brotherhood or the sisterhood of serving in the military, you can't step into the realm.
Right.
But us we definitely kick dirt on each other.
Yeah, that's fun. Like it's a brotherhood, it's a sisterhood, it's a family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of family, I feel like Galveston County, especially Santa Fe, Texas, it is a big family. It has a family feel. It's a small town. There's room for growth. There's a lot going on. Like, seeing this sign is really cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like I wouldn't be shocked if I saw that somewhere. Like, it may be in another city. If I pulled up and I'm like, oh, wow, they did that here. Santa Fe is just kind of like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and we partnered with some really cool people. I mean, there's an organization called Serve that Jay Kopak, which is the COO of ACU of Texas. This guy's committed to helping veterans, and so he has his organization where people meet up at his branch on 96, and we meet up there, and it's organizations from all over Galveston County, even Harris County, that come in and say, hey, how can we help veterans? How can we step up and help them out? Even if it's just repairing their car or repairing their home or providing them services to filter into the VA and make sure that they get the benefits that they need.
Yeah.
So we partner with them. ACU of Texas actually has their name on these signs, and the reason why is because they sponsored them. It was my idea in partnering with the city.
Can I see one?
And getting these out there, but it's really cool stuff.
So if somebody owns a business or has some kind of connection and is able to put these up in Santa Fe somewhere, they could reach out to you?
Absolutely. And if we need to get more printed, we're willing to work with Jay and make sure we get more printed. I mean, these are cool. And you've seen other veteran parking signs, right? But I guarantee you haven't seen one as sexy as this one.
I haven't. No, it has the American flag. It has the branches. So we got, Coast Guard, we got Air Force, the Army, Marine Corps, and the Navy. And that's awesome.
It's legit. It's legit.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about the Space Force? Anything? Is that considered a branch of the military?
Well, I think it's something that they're going to have to put together and make that decision, and then of course it's going to have to get adopted by Congress. But
yeah,
I think that they're looking to do something like that.
That'd be cool.
But of course we're committed to these five right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like we need to finish developing Galveston County, then we can go develop space, or maybe at the same time. I don't know. But right now we're talking to Councilman Leija about everything that's going on in Santa Fe, everything that's going on with your insurance company as well, because you have a business, right?
Yes, I absolutely do. And so I own a farmers insurance agency. And one of the things is that Farmers is also committed to veterans. They were looking for a veteran agent, and they said, hey, we need somebody for this area because they know the number of veterans that we have in Galveston County. So I represent Farmers. I have my own agency. It's right there in Bay Colony Town Center where the big HEB is on 646 and 45.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're heading, the back road to Cabela's right there on Brookport Drive. I'm right next to Manchester Cleaners and the bistro, the Vietnamese bistro, the pho.
Okay, yeah.
So, man, it's awesome though because again, I have a great team in my office and they allow me to be basically the CEO. And what I mean by that, I'm the community engagement officer. So I'm out there marketing, advertising, talking to babies, kissing kids, and being able to go into schools.
Yeah.
One of the really cool organizations that we recently partnered with was with Miss Hillary Graham.
Mm-hmm.
She's the executive director for Higher Up, and she's right now they're focused on Dickinson ISD. So she's allowed me to come in and mentor some of the kids that they work with, and they have a really cool program. So again, that's what Galveston County is about partnerships. So if you have a business or you have an organization and you guys want to partner, hey, give me a call. I'm all up for helping the community and giving back.
I had Hillary in studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's awesome, and she was sharing about focusing on Dickinson. I said, "What's the goal? Are you going to be hoping to do this in TC ISD, Santa Fe ISD, Hitchcock ISD, like all of our school districts?" And that's the plan, which I think is great.
And their program is real holistic. I mean, it's definitely trying to engage the student and getting them to visit city councils, getting them to visit judges, and I mean, it's a cool program. I'm really impressed with it.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so right now it is 9:12 on a Wednesday morning, kind of cold. It's almost Christmas time, and it feels like it outside right now.
So speaking of that cold. We just partnered again with Miss Robin Reed. She owns Sonic in Santa Fe.
Okay.
And this lady is awesome. She's off the chain. She does this big bike and toy thing where, I mean, we're talking about tons of bikes. We're talking about over 100 bikes that she pulls together, and she gives them out to the community. I mean, and yesterday, a week ago, she called me. She goes, "Hey, it's going to be cold out there." And I said, we need some hot chocolate. We need some coffee. She goes, "Will you be willing to step up and put that together?" I said, well, let me think about it. She goes, no, I don't need you to think about it. I need you to step up and make it happen.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing that. And I got with Councilman Ivy Hoke, and he says, I'm in. I'll help you out. And then I made another phone call, and we got mug shots at a coffee bar. And I don't know if you know Ms. Dawn Patterson from Mug Shots in Santa Fe. But she's high energy. I gave her a call. She says, hey, we'll do the coffee for you. Just bring over the chocolate stuff, and we'll make some hot cocoa for you.
Yeah.
And so we picked that stuff up, set up a table. We gave out donuts, cookies, hot chocolate, coffee, and they had tons of people at Abundant Life. I mean, not Abundant Life. It's Aldersgate.
Uh-huh.
It was at Aldersgate, so it's part of his ministry. And we did that yesterday early in the morning, and it was cold, brother.
Wow.
It was cold out there.
You see the weather for next week? I think it's supposed to get warm. Isn't that crazy?
Man, there was a meteorologist, and I think it was like Fox 26, but the guy was like, man, it's Houston. It's this area. He's like 40 one day, and then the next day it's 80.
I saw a meme on social media that said that the Houston weather looks like the winning numbers to the Powerball because it was like 43, 34, 72, like 6. You know, like just like random stuff.
All
you never
over
know.
the place.
You never know.
All over the place. So you don't even know what to put in your wardrobe these days.
No.
You just like a jacket, not a jacket.
I bring a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to pull up all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's intense.
So you mentioned Mug Shots. It's a coffee shop, a coffee bar right there in Santa Fe. It's pretty new. Like it opened up, I think maybe in the summer or sometime in the past couple months, right?
Yes.
And I have a friend. His name is Chevy. He's from Santa Fe.
Oh, yeah. She's talked about him.
I was going to say, I didn't know if you met Chevy or everybody is like one person connection away from Chevy.
Yeah, 1 degree, right?
Yeah, 1 degree of separation. Doesn't matter, like President Donald Trump or you're like the guy down the street that I'm just going to walk and see at the gas station. Everybody knows him. And so he was like, hey, there's a new coffee shop opening. I was like, yeah, I'm down. Like, have her come on. And he was like, well, I'll talk to her. So I just need to go over there and get some coffee.
Yeah, and so Dawn... I was just over there yesterday and, thanking them for, giving us, providing us the coffee and, of course, the hot chocolate.
Yeah.
And so I was in there, and then one of the local barbers, his name is Mike Rodriguez. And so we went to high school together, and we were, chopping it up in there.
Big Mike?
But, yeah, Big Mike.
Yeah.
So Big Mike was in there, and he's good friends with Dawn, and there were several other people in there, Charlie and some other individuals. But overall, the coffee shop is now becoming this cool hub for Santa Fe where she's even hosting like little events there. And she's doing one tonight where she's bringing in, I think she's the assistant principal from the junior high. And she might be from Kubitschek. But overall, she's hosting something there tonight where they're giving out coffee and donuts and so forth. But they're going to be doing a reading. And so it's just some Christmas love, man. It's
That's
good
cool.
Stuff.
So is it a reading like from a book or a poem or poetry? Or?
I think it's from a book. I know I have it on my Facebook, and I'm always sharing stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the cool things about Galveston County and just Santa Fe in general. It's about sharing each other's information. It's like, man, if you're hosting something or you got a business, share it to someone else's page or to your page, so that way you're showing love to people. And and I think that right now, I'm writing my Christmas cards, and I've been sending them out the last 2 weeks to my clients and to friends. But I'm talking about on that piece is talking about sharing the magic and love of Christmas, because that Christmas, man, brings out the magic in people.
Yeah, it does. It does, and it's a great time to support locally owned businesses. And I saw that Angie Butler. She is over there at Legacy Collision, which is right down the street, in Hitchcock, 2004. It always, you can go and support like a locally owned person. You walk in, you know the people, your kids go to school together. There's something different about it. And
so Angie Butler, her son's in the military. Mm-hmm. And so show some love to the Butler family. Her son's in the military, Army, and he's, I think, recently home. I think he's home right now. So I follow her on social media. So she has a really cool family, and then Legacy Collision has a cool piece. So we've gone over there. I've sent them clients, and I'm still waiting for them to buy me breakfast. So if they're listening, so I've sent them clients. And matter of fact, I sent my brother-in-law over there, and they got their car fixed over there. But I'm always telling my clients, hey, let me know if you need something. I have friends.
Yeah.
And they own businesses. And so that's the cool piece. And like my in-laws own a business. They own the oldest business in Santa Fe.
What is it?
And it's Tabaldo's Feed and Supply.
Okay.
And so Tabaldo's Feed and Supply is, it's generational, passed down, and they've been there forever. Forever. We're talking about decades. And so they're right in front of City Hall. They do deliveries. So that's the cool thing. They deliver feed to my parents' house. Whatever my dad needs for his goats and horses and cows, they'll deliver it. So if you guys need show some love to the local businesses.
Hey, growing up in Galveston, you said, right?
Yeah.
Did y'all have like goats and horses and cows and chickens and stuff like that down there?
So my parents are originally from Mexico, and they moved over here in the 70s. And then through the whole Ronald Reagan piece, they were able to become citizens. And so I'm actually super proud of both my parents because they took it in English and they passed it, and they became citizens in the early 80s. But my parents always had this dream, especially my father always had this dream of wanting to have his own land like he did in Mexico, right? And because my father loves horses, cows, and that whole, ranching thing. So I still remember my mother finding these 2 acres in Santa Fe in a newspaper and says, hey, why don't you go take a look at this land?
What year is this?
This was 89, 89, 90. And I was at Central in Galveston, Central Middle School. So I was in 8th grade. And so we grew up in Galveston. My 3 older brothers all graduated from Ball High. But we have a big family. There's 8 of us, right? So it's like that joke. My parents are like, you can't just have one Lay's potato chip. You got to have multiple. That. So we have tons of kids. So but we're like tamales sleeping on each other, right? But so my dad ends up buying this 2 acres of land, and the 2 homes that were on there, they were 2 small little homes. We're talking about maybe 1,200 square feet each one. But what was crazy when we went to go visit it, Gardy, in one of them, the guy used to keep pigs in, and then the other one, he used to keep goats in.
So it was like the pig's house and the goat's house.
Yeah, so literally, like, he used to, hold animals in there because the place wasn't fenced in.
Yeah.
And it's right in front of the auction barn, where you would bring in all the animals and you would sell them, right? And they would auction them off. So when we went to go visit it, my father was like pumped up and his eyes were like just glowing. And us as kids, we were like, 12, 13 years old, and we were like, what the? Like, come on, real dad, like, we're going to live in this place? And I still remember like it was yesterday, walking in, and I walked to the back restroom, and I went straight through the floor.
Oh, man.
And I was like, man, let's get out of here. And so, I'm 12, 13, and I'm upset because, I scraped up my leg. But now that house, my dad has extended both houses. Now it's not even close to 1,200 square feet. Now they're like 2,500 square feet, and the home's beautiful, and that's where we were raised, man. It was cool.
He kicked the pigs and the goats out, though?
Yeah, we kicked them out, man. But now now they're fenced in.
Yeah.
Now they're fenced in. So, and now there's this whole new world of Santa Fe. You get to live on this land, like acre, 2 acres, 3 acres. You got people out there that have 5-acre plots, and they're raising their kids, and they're showing animals. Like, my wife was raised that way, but I wasn't. My wife, Chrissy, she showed lambs and goats, and I didn't even know that world.
Is she from Santa Fe?
Yeah, she's from Santa Fe. So the Tabaldos have been around for a long time in Santa Fe. So they, the brothers and the sisters, and they own a lot of land in Santa Fe. But overall, they're really big into that show life, right? And my daughter's into it now. But when I first went to one of the Galveston County Fair, brother, you walk in and these young girls, like 12, 13, 14 years old, they're moving a cow or a heifer that's like 1,200 pounds, brother. Like, me being new to it, I know boxing and basketball. I didn't know this world. But, man, you got to go check it out. It's intense.
That's cool.
And you got a son, right? He's 7 years old, right? So imagine having your son that's 7 or 9 years old in there moving an animal that's, that massive.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be one of those hovering parents and be like, hey, you guys, watch out.
Yeah. I was sweating, brother. I was sweating when I first, was first part of it. And but now I got my cowboy boots on. I got my lid.
Oh yeah.
Now I get to get out there and be a part of it, and it's an awesome program that the whole 4-H, the FFA, it's cool stuff. So
Yeah.
that's Santa Fe.
That's awesome.
It's Galveston County really because Dickinson has a program too for 4-H and FFA and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, when it comes to land that you can buy 2 and 3 acres to live on, I think of Santa Fe, I think of Hitchcock.
Yeah.
They're right there. Texas City, I'm sure there's some available, and Lamarck, I feel like there's a lot of room for economic development and business and stuff, and houses, but most of it's subdivisions that are coming in. But if you want to I want 2 to 3 acres, then you have to do that in certain areas, and Santa Fe is perfect for that.
And I like calling people by their last name, so Garcia. So Garcia, that's the beauty of Santa Fe right now. The energy in Santa Fe is high, and the reason why is because there's new leadership that's in town, right? Like there's new sheriffs in town, if we can use that, right? But the mayor started that in 2018. We got a young mayor. I mean, Jason Tabor's a young mayor, but the guy's been an entrepreneur for a long time, and we went to school together. So it's cool, me coming back from the military, being gone, and traveling 13 countries, and when to go pick up a degree, now coming home, and I get to see that this mayor has stepped up, and then people ask me to run for council. Man, we got a young council. I think we have the youngest city council in all of Galveston County.
Wow.
So we're averaging right there around 41 years of age. But what's cool about it is that we're also have an EDC, our Economic Development Corporation. I'm the president of it, but the people that are on this board are fire. I mean, these are powerful people with a lot of talent. So we got Matt Crable on there, which is a vice president of Texas First Bank. And Texas First Bank shows Galveston County a lot of love, right? I bank with them. My banker's awesome. He helps me out with my business. So we got Matt Crable on there. We also have Bob Wiley, which is one of the veterans in the community. He's, I would say, one of the senior people. He's been around the block, but he knows the water district. He knows the city very well. So he's probably our most senior person on there. But then we got Miss Ashley Carner, which is with Amico, which is another great bank. So we do all our personal banking with Amico and our business banking with Texas First Bank. But she's awesome, talented individual. She's a CFO, Chief Financial Officer for Amico. So, I mean, brilliant person, right? So we got that individual on our EDC. We also got Pook's Crawfish. Have you been to Pook's Crawfish yet?
Yeah.
So Pook's, the owner, Greg Vigner. This guy was former police officer, smart guy. I love talking to him because he's always talking about, hey, how do we make Santa Fe better? And so he's also on our board. And then we got a young gun on there that's in his late 20s, early 30s. He owns a new car wash. And, man, this guy's high energy. His name is Robert Bracknell. So that's our board for our EDC. And these are the individuals that are looking to figure out how to make our city more attractive for businesses, but still keeping that small town home feel where everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
But we got love for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah. I feel like there has to be a balance because people like, hey, if I want to live on 2 and 3 acres, I want this feel, and it has a small town feel, but there's easy access to anything that you want right down this, maybe like 10 minutes away, if that. And, but there's room for potentially big businesses to come in, restaurants, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
There's the land that's available, and the people are there because the people are coming, and they're moving this way.
Absolutely. And our neighbor right now, she came in from League City. She goes, I just feel like it's overwhelming for me in League City. Yeah. So I wanted to move to a smaller town where I just kind of feel like it's a bit more community and family focused. So that's good stuff.
I was talking to my son yesterday, and I live in League City, and he was asking about like the land and the development. And I was like, well, when you were born, you're 7 years old. When you were born, none of this was here.
Right.
I promise you, none of those. Like, you see that HMcDonald's, that Cane's Chicken, HEB, that wasn't there. There was nothing here. He's like, what was there? Nothing. They built a subdivision, and then HEB popped up, and that was like a game changer. Like, everything started blowing up. And as I drive, I see like the land. It's like 9 acres available, and it's like I wonder what they're going to build there because they're going to, and I can't live there. I can't buy 2 or 3 acres to build a house there. It just won't work because the land it's going to be too much. So it makes me want to go buy some land in Santa Fe, so that way I can, if I ever want to, move out of a subdivision and have some more. Get a cow, get a goat. I don't know.
And I'll tell you, if you do live in Galveston County and you're looking for a community that's growing, that's going to be expanding, but you still have that family feel, Santa Fe is going to be the place for you over the next 20, 30 years. And the reason why is we're also bringing in a brand new city manager, which is a huge deal for Santa Fe. We're talking about our former city manager, or our current city manager, I should say, Joe Dixon. He's been there 23 years, so he's seen the city up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But for us to transition into a new city manager, it's critical. And what I mean by it's critical is that this person is going to be taking the reins and working with the current city council and the new EDC to figure out how to make sure we make our city safe, make sure it grows properly, and then we support our local businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And there's development right now. There's 54 acres that a developer's coming in and purchasing and looking to build a brand new subdivision. So there's even a potential that we may even build a new school just because of that subdivision.
Gonna need it, yeah.
Yeah, so we got to have somebody that's sharp, somebody who's ready to hit the ground running. And a matter of fact, we have a massive meeting that's going to happen on Monday, and we're bringing in 4 of the finalists for city manager, and we get to interview them, ask them questions. We're also even going to do a luncheon so that they can interact with some of our local businesses, citizens, and so we can figure out, hey, who's the right fit for our city.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Is the person already put in place? Because if I understand correctly, you mentioned city council, that's a volunteer position.
Oh, absolutely.
It's you're volunteering. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you have to have a passion for it.
Yes.
Then y'all get to decide who is going to be in that city manager position.
Right.
And the city manager, they are, for the most part, in charge of like the yes and no of things, right?
Yeah, you could actually say they're the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you think about it this way, they're the CEO, they're the executive officer of the city, but we're the board, and we oversee the city manager. So we get to ask them questions, tell them, hey, this is the direction we would like to go, help us make it happen. So we're the oversight. But the city manager takes care of all the personnel. They're in charge of the personnel. So their biggest department is going to be the police department. Now, we have our current Chief Meadows. The city really right now, it looks like he's moving us in the right direction. As a matter of fact, we just had council this past Thursday, and he just told us that we're fully staffed on our police department, and we even approved an additional officer. So with that being said, it's really important to me to make sure that our police department is running at 100% or even higher. And the reason why is because when you do have these smaller communities, Garcia, is me being a CASA advocate, court-appointed special advocate. If you don't know what CASA of Galveston is, please look them up. They're always looking for great volunteers, especially men. But CASA of Galveston is a great program.
I had Mr. Munoz, and I had the director of CASA in last week, which I learned all about. Oh,
really?
Very cool. Yes, sir.
It's an amazing program.
Mm-hmm.
So they give us some intense training, brother. And the intense training as being a CASA advocate, because we're appointed by the judge, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're appointed by Ann Daring. And so when we're appointed, it's important. But the training that they give us on narcotics, the meth epidemic, just all of, the prescription drugs, all of these pieces, man, we don't want them to come into our city of Santa Fe that we're talking about faith, family, and hard work.
Yeah.
We want to keep that out. So for me, I'm a big proponent of supporting our police department. So I want them fully staffed, and I'm even wanting to support them to get an additional canine, right? If we have 2 canines instead of 1, that means that we can keep more drugs out of our community and out of our city. But overall, right now, Chief Meadows, Captain Robert Shores, Robert Wood, which is our marshal, those three individuals and their leadership right now, they're making things happen and they're being proactive. So we're super excited about our police department. But that city manager that comes in, he's going to oversee that leadership. So we need to make sure that our city manager is on point.
Right now it's 9:32. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. So we have a bit of time left, and I wanted to make sure that we brought this up. So we have Councilman Leija in studio. You're a councilman with and for the city of Santa Fe.
Yes, sir.
But you also have an insurance agency, Farmers, right?
Yes, sir.
But there's an event that's taking place, I think it's December 19th.
Which is Thursday.
Can you share what's going on?
Man, so one of the programs that we established, and I worked with my brothers, and again, I got to give a shout-out to all my brothers, my brother Juan, my brother Ruben, Frank, my brother Ray. He goes by Chewy, or some of the people know him by Jesse. And then my sister Madi, and then, of course, my brother David that passed away, but he's watching over us. He passed away in a fatal car accident in 2008. And then, of course, our only sister, which is probably more man than we are, my sister Maria Soledad. She goes by Mari. So there's 8 of us, but my family and I, we're committed, and my brother Ruben has his son that's serving in the U.S. Navy.
Mm-hmm.
So your question is what event are we doing on Thursday? We're continuing our commitment to support our local veterans. And so we created an organization called Operation Honor Our Local Veterans. And that's part of that piece of putting out these 40 signs in the community. We're wanting to discount permits at the city for veterans. We're wanting to, any facilities that we have for rent, that you can rent in our city, we want to discount those as well. But one of the big projects that we've recently done that we're piggyback on because we're seeing the need, right,
mm-hmm.
is we had this event that was our Veterans Day event, right?
Right.
And this Veterans Day event that we did at Runge Park, we served over 500 veterans and guests. And so because we saw the need, we put something on for Christmas, right? And so we're serving 30 veteran families, and we're going to be at Garage Bar. So my brother has a really good relationship with the owners of Garage Bar. And so we're going to be in Alvin, right there on 35. And we're going to have a live band. We're bringing in Across the Tides. Some of the players that are on that band for Across the Tides, they're actually veterans. One of them actually represents and works for Congressman Randy Weber, which has been a big supporter of the work that we've been doing for veterans. So thanks, Congressman. Also, Dr. Bonin, which is our state representative for our area. He's also a big supporter of us. And then all of our elected officials locally. But the event on Thursday, on the 19th, it's going to be at 6 p.m. We're providing them a complimentary meal, so we're going to feed these veterans and their children. We're going to have Santa Claus there taking photos, so we'll be able to give them pictures with Santa. We're going to have the live band again, Cross the Ties. A big shout out to them. And then we're also going to be providing them gifts. That's what partnerships are all about, Garcia. Remember I was talking to you about Robin Reed
mm-hmm.
with his ministry, and she gives out all these bikes and toys. Well, we just got off the phone this morning at 8:15. She sends me a text, and I was already thinking about her, and I was like, so I just called her up, and she goes, well, Fidencio, I want to help the event. She goes, I want to provide bikes for all of those veterans and their children. And I was like, man, my socks, she knocked my socks off, brother. So now we already have toys and that they're going to receive, but now they're going to get bikes on top of that, brother, just because of these partnerships that you make.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's amazing. Are these families, you said there's 30 of them.
30 veteran families.
Are they from Galveston County or from Santa Fe?
Galveston County.
Mm-hmm.
And a matter of fact, some of them are from Alvin as well. So we got families from Alvin, from Dickinson, Lamarck, just all over this area. And they filled out a form, but we're not just giving them this Christmas gifts for their children and then just walking away. On one of the pieces that we did on the form, Garcia, was ask them, hey, what help do you need with? Do you need help filling out for food stamps? Do you need help filling out VA disability documents? Do you need help filling out for financial aid, or what else do you need assistance with? Now, can I provide that support? Of course not. But I know people who can,
mm-hmm.
so that's where we connect them.
Comes back to those relationships.
That's it. It's all about relationships, and so we want to be that that strong network and figure out how we can help them out, fill out those forms, and get them the services and the support they need.
Yeah, here's a comment I want to read. This is from Officer Reyes. He said, I love Councilman Leija's passion and drive for community involvement. Do you ever get, I'm going to say the word flack, but do sometimes people, I mean, I'm sure they understand, like this comment, like, hey, I understand your passion, but then other people maybe criticize you for being too passionate or passionate in a way that maybe they don't agree with?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you, the passion comes from doing the work that my brother David, that passed away in 2008. David was very committed to being involved in his community, very involved at College of the Mainland, where him and I both attended, and then also at Texas State. So that's where my brothers and my sister and we continue that legacy of serving the community. But Officer Reyes, the piece is you're going to get the fire too. And I'll tell you right now, and I'm up front, and I'm an open book, but there was an ethics commission violation that was filed against me this year. And I had to pay a fine for $300 just because a citizen was upset at me because I'm new leadership and because I am involved and because we're making change. So the fire is going to come, but I'm still going to smile. Because I got fined $300 for an ethics commission violation is not going to stop me from doing the work that I do. But there's other people that we just went to a party for Linebarger. Linebarger is a big attorney firm, and we're one of their vendors. They're one of our vendors for the city of Santa Fe, and they take care of some of our collections. But they're a great organization. But Linebarger had this Christmas party, and my wife and I went to it. Well, someone from the city ends up telling my wife, because she was there, she's like, well, so how is it to have your husband being on city council and he's all busy all the time and he's getting caught up in all of these events and programs that he's wanting to do? And my wife was like, well, he's passionate about it and that's what he loves to do. Well, you may want to pull him in and pull on those reins on him a little bit. And that's what they told my wife, And my wife told me about it, and I'm just like, I said, what do you think, sweetheart? She's like, I'm going to support you. Is it hard and is it overwhelming because we got 3 kids? Yeah, but if this is what you want to do, run with it. So I'll tell you, Officer Reyes, hey, brother, if you're passionate about something, sometimes you don't sleep. Like I'm at night and I'll sleep 3 or 4 hours and I'm still up working on a form or designing something or putting something together. But I know at the end of the day, it's going to benefit my children and the families that I know. And that's what it comes down to. I got a good friend of mine that went to high school with me, and he works out at the plants. His name's Alfred Gillian. He comes in, and we chop it up all the time at Farmers Insurance. And he's telling me, hey, look, this is what I hear from the community. Hey, brother, I appreciate it. And he tells me the good, the bad, and he hits me between the eyes with some of the stuff. But I tell him, I said, hey, brother, what can I do to improve it? And he goes, I think you need to have more communication, share what you're doing, but make sure you're very thorough so that people know what's going on.
One thing that I enjoy from elected officials, volunteer positions, people in general that are involved and want to be involved is whenever, like Mayor Tabor comes to mind.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I love Mayor Tabor.
Yeah.
He'll post on social media, and he is straight up like keeping everybody involved. This is what's going on. This is the issues that we have. And I stop, and I will read because, sometimes some people are like, that's a rant. But Mayor Tabor, this actually holds weight, and I know that he cares and he's passionate. The other person comes to mind is Michael Matrenga at the TCISD with security. He's coming in on Friday, and he is passionate too. And it gets, tossed around as well. But I'm like, I'll stop and I'm going to read this, and I like having a conversation with people who are passionate about what they are doing.
And Garcia, I've met with Matrenga, and I've sat down with him. He has a phenomenal team. He has a team of a lot of veterans. He got Army, Air Force, a lot of different people on his team. That guy's a beast. He's a beast, and he's passionate about safety and security. That's his bread and butter.
Yep.
But if I have questions on that, I reach out to him, and that's those relationships within Galveston County that we have to have. If you live in Galveston County and you're a city elected official or even a citizen, you need to call and sit down with other people and bounce ideas off of each other. And I think that's the big piece, man.
Yeah, and I had asked him in one of the times he's been on once, I believe, before. I asked him, I said, if somebody reaches out to you, they're from another school district or I don't know, like, are you going to see? He's like, absolutely. I'll talk to whoever you have a question for me or I can help in any way. I'm down.
So let me tell you one cool about Mr. Matranga. We had our council meeting early this year on our budget, and we wanted to figure out how to make sure that our city hall is safer. So we're bouncing ideas on. So guess who the city manager and the mayor called in? Mike Matranga. So Matranga goes over and visits our city hall, does his walkthrough, and then he gives us his recommendations. And he says, hey, I recommend you do X, Y, and Z, put a wall up here, put glass here, do this, and this is what I recommend with the budget that you have. So now that's already being implemented, brother. So by the time we open up next year in January, we're going to have a safer city hall, which is going to protect our citizens. And not just our citizens, but also our staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. Again, it's partnerships. What I like about our city council and our mayor is if I post something on social media, the mayor shares it to his page. If he posts something, I share it to my page. And that's where you have the relationship of supporting each other. We may not always agree with each other, and it happens on city council. We're not always going to agree with each other, but we support each other.
Yeah.
And we share each other's stuff.
I think it's not fun to disagree, but in those positions, it's good to disagree. You can't agree all the time.
That's it.
Because you have to have somebody else's viewpoint, even if it's just like, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we can alter that in a little bit of a fashion or whatever. But So let me see. Right now it's 9:44. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. We have Councilman Leija here in studio. Is there anything else you'd like to share while you're here today?
I would just like to tell Galveston County and the city of Santa Fe, the future is in our hands. We need people to go out and vote. We need people to donate. If it's $10, $15, for instance, right now we have, and I want to make sure, UVC Country, Power Sports Trailers and Outdoors. She's actually a veteran. She's actually served in the Wright military, the U.S. Navy. So Miss Shannon Tracy out there at UVC Country and Alvin, they donated an ATV. Like, it wasn't like these people that we partner with, like you walk in and these people's energy is already like, how can I help? So that's Galveston County, that's Brazoria County, that's this area that we live in. The only thing I want to tell our citizens is we need you to vote. We need you to vote for proactive leadership. And then once they're in, we need your support. We need you to get behind us. We need you to share our videos, share our posts, and make sure that we're doing everything possible to serve you, your families, veterans, first responders, teachers. We can't forget our teachers. We got to show love to our teachers. So support your education foundation. So it's good stuff. So that's the only thing I would like to leave everybody with, Garcia. And I thank you, brother. Thank you for what you do. Man, how long have you guys been on the air?
It's been about 2 years now.
In those 2 years, how many citizens have you impacted, brother?
I don't know, but I was trying to calculate how many interviews have been done. I was like, it has to be close to 1,000. I was just like calculating it. Man, it's been fun to even if you go back and listen to a podcast, if you go search KHEA Radio on Spotify or iTunes, we pop up and you'll be able to hear this and listen whenever you would like. We usually load them about once a week, or people go back on Facebook. But man, it's fun to do, and I also feel like people are listening, and I love being able to be somebody who can make a difference in an area that I grew up in. So,
and I'll tell everybody, I always give my phone number out, but my phone number is 409-692-6676. Again, that number is 409-692-6676. Send me a text message. You want to sit down. I also do life coaching, so I love working with youth and young professionals and then new businesses. How can we help you out? How can I sit down with you and do some strategy? If you have a kid that doesn't know what degree they want to go into or what they want to study when they get into college, the best time to work with students is that 7th and 8th grade. So if you have a child that's 7th and 8th grade and you just need somebody to sit down with them for 30 minutes to an hour, hey, give me a call. I'm all about helping the community. And because that kid's going to go off to college or off to the military, and they will be back, because that's what happened to me. I came back after 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's help each other out. Let's show each other some love, and let's just make Galveston County better.
All right, so it is 9:47. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to start a new stream during the 10 o'clock hour where we will be talking to the Sanctuary and learning everything that they have going on. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. All right, bye,
Sweet,
Facebook, and we're going to start a new stream, so hang out.
That was good.